Hello, my pretties. Welcome to episode 267 of Shadows and Pretties. And today we are going to be reviewing a movie starring James Caan and Kathy Bates, Lauren Bacall, Richard Farnsworth, and Francis Sternhagen. So today we are going to be reviewing this movie. And to honor the fact that James Caan unfortunately passed away last year, since he passed away last year in July. To honor the fact of James Caan's passing, I am going to be reviewing this another Stephen King movie that was released in 1990, based on the 1987 novel of the movie. And today we're going to be reviewing this movie called Misery. Now, this movie stars James Caan, which unfortunately he died last year, and this one also stars Kathy Bates. And Kathy Bates is a really awesome actress. I like her. She's awesome. She has been in other movies as well. I personally really liked her in other movies, but she is just amazing. She's a really amazing amazing actress. She's been in a lot of other movies. Like I've seen her in, so many movies. It's not even not and I've seen her in the remake of Charlotte's Web from 2006. She voices one of the animals, I'm pretty sure, but correct me if I'm wrong. So, this film, Misery, is another good Stephen King film, and I personally really like this film. It came out in the same year that the miniseries It did, which, by the way, I will do my best to get to that one soon. I do plan to review some other Stephen King films as well. So, in that case, I thought I would go ahead and, do Misery to honor the fact that James Caan unfortunately passed away last year. To honor his, anniversary of his death, we're going to be reviewing Misery. Now, some of you guys probably remember seeing this on VHS. Some of you guys probably remembered seeing it when on DVD, especially Stephen King fans. But yeah, let me go ahead and, pretty much go for the movie and explain what the movie is about, especially for those who have not seen the movie in like a really long time. And I mean, judging by, I think I had a VHS copy of this, but it's been a long time. Now, Misery is the only film based on the Stephen King novel to win an Oscar, which is pretty much something can definitely say. As King himself stated, that Misery is one of his top 10 favorite film adaptations based on his books. So, this story is about Paul Sheldon, who is the author of the success of the series of the Victorian romance novels featuring a character named Misery Chastain. Wanting to focus more on serious stories, he writes a manuscript for a new novel that he hopes that will launch his post-Misery career. While traveling from Silver Creek, Colorado, to his home in New York City, Paul is unfortunately caught in a blizzard and crashes his car, rendering him unconscious. A nurse named Annie Wilkes, I think that's how you pronounce it, finds him and brings him over to her remote home. So as regains his consciousness and finds himself bedridden with broken legs and dislocated shoulder, Annie claims to be his number one fan and constantly praises him for his novels. She offers to care for him until the telephone lines are reconnected and the local roads reopen following the blizzard out of gratitude. Paul lets her read his new manuscript. She angrily criticizes the profanity of his new work, disturbing him, but she quickly apologizes. When she reads the latest Misery novel and discovers that Misery dies at the end, she flies into rage, revealing to Paul that nobody knows where he is and that she had never informed any kind of authority against his agent that she rescued him. Effectively holding him prisoner as her scheduled home, Annie forces Paul to burn the only copy of his manuscript, and she also provides a second-hand typewriter and orders him to begin writing a new novel titled Misery's Return, in which he brings the character back to life. Paul uses a bobby pin to unlock his door and leave his room. As he begins stockpiling his painkillers and tries drugging Annie during dinner by spiking her wine with crushed up painkillers, but his plan foiled after she accidentally knocks over her glass. He later finds a scrapbook and newspaper clippings about Annie's past and learns that Annie was tried for the deaths, but for several infants in the hospital where she worked. But the trial collapsed due to lack of evidence. So Annie had quoted lines from his misery novels during her trial. Annie soon then discovers that Paul had been sneaking out of his room and breaks his ankles with a sledgehammer just to prevent him from escaping again. Eventually, the local sheriff Buster is investigating Paul's disappearance. Clues had led him to pay Annie a visit, but she murders him with a shotgun when she finds Paul drugged in the basement. She then attempts to kill Paul in a murder, but Paul, concealing a can of lighter fluid in his pocket, convinces her to let him live long enough to finish the novel in order to give misery back to the world. So when the manuscript is done, Paul asks for a cigarette and a champagne, and Annie complies. However, her horror, Paul uses the lighter to set the manuscript on fire, telling her, "I've learned it from you." Paul then strikes Annie with a typewriter after she futilely tries to save the manuscript, and they engage in a violent struggle, with Paul suffering a gunshot wound to the shoulder from her revolver. So he trips her, causing her to strike her head on the typewriter, then crawls out of the room. But Annie rediscovers and attacks again, as Paul grabs a metal doorstep and bashes Annie in the face, finally eventually killing her. So, fast forward 18 months later, Paul is now walking with the cane, meets his agent Marcia in a restaurant in New York City. The two discuss his first post misery novel, and Marcia tells him about the positive early buzz. Paul replies that he wrote the novel for himself, as a way to help with the horrors of his captivity. Marcia asks if he would consider a nonfiction book about his captivity, but Paul, who suffers from psychological trauma from the experiences, declines. This eventually gets us to see Paul seeing a waitress approaching him, who she hallucinates as Annie, commenting that he still thinks about her once in a while. The waitress tells Paul that she is his number one fan, causing Paul to meekly reply, "That's very sweet of you, thus how it ends." Now, I know no Thomas Patrick Walsh did make a cameo appearance in this movie, but I really do like the fact that there is a lot of concept when it came to this film. I like the character Kathy Bates plays as. I thought she was like a really great actress, and not to mention she was like a really great choice for the Annie character. I mean, Annie, going crazy in that. I mean, Kathy Bates, I've seen her in other movies, but she is awesome. And James Caan, I know he's been in a lot of other movies I've seen, but it's such a shame that he died, and he was only 82 years old at the time. Now, unfortunately, some people wondered, how did he die? Well, he unfortunately had a heart attack by a coronary artery disease. So, yeah, that's pretty much why he died, as well as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and congestive heart failure, which that does cause him to, have his death go on. But I really do really like this film. I personally really like the fact that James Caan was in this movie. Besides Misery he was in, if you remember seeing him in the movie Elf with Will Ferrell, he was also an elf, and I thought he was a really good character he played in Elf, and as well as a few other characters that he was in. But James Caan, I know he did a really great job, and I personally really like that. And fun fact, he actually voiced Sonny Corleone in the Godfather game, which I thought that was pretty neat. I did not even know he was in the Godfather game until I looked it up. The music is flat out amazing. And especially with the fact that, there's a lot of great, soundtrack, and everything that fits with it was awesome. I mean, this is the only film to ever have an Oscar, which I thought that was really neat. Now, I know some of you are wondering, is there ever going to be a remake out of Misery? Well, my question is, I don't know if there is ever going to be a remake of this film. I mean, if they ever remade this film, I really hope they do it good, because this movie is like over 30 years old. But I mean, if they ever made a movie of this, let's hope they make the movie, or the remake better. But it's just as good as this one, though. I mean, I don't know what the remake of it would look like, but I personally really enjoyed this film. I thought the characters were really neat and well made. I like the characters that Kathy Bates played, and I mean, it's just awesome. I do have the book somewhere, but I don't know where it is at the moment. It's pretty much in storage with my other Stephen King films, but Kathy Bates did awesome, as well as James Caan. So if you are a Stephen King fan, I highly recommend you check out this film. You will not be disappointed once you see this film. It's a really awesome movie. I do like the book too. The book was pretty good too. I mean, it's kind of crazy as well, but it's still a really great movie, and I personally really enjoyed it. I mean, when I first watched this film, I honestly was stunned of how well made and awesome this is. With Stephen, if you're a Stephen King fan, you will love this story and even the movie itself. I like the actor Kathy Bates that was in it, as well as James Caan. They both did really good. The characters did amazing. No questions there. Flat out amazing. I personally really enjoyed this film. Now, I do have to say right now, I recommend this film if you are a Stephen King fan, and if you have not seen this movie or read the book, I highly recommend you read the book, and as well as watch the movie if you're a Stephen King fan. Well, I could definitely say if you're not a horror fan or a Stephen King fan, then this book or in the story, well, movie may not be for you. But like I said, everybody is different. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this movie. But if I am missing something, let me know what it is in the comments below if I am missing something. So I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. But if I'm missing something, you guys can let me know in the comments below. So as always, yeah, what did you guys think of this movie? And like I said before, let me know what you guys think of Misery in the comments below. If you like the book, if you like the movie, if you like both, let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Now, like I'm saying right now, this is just simply my own personal opinion on Misery. If you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these movies, and books. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. If you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. I will respect your opinion. So, anyways, I am the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you are new to my channel, I want to let you know that if you guys are interested in following my DeviantArt page, link to that will be in the About page section of my channel. Also, the link to my Twitter page will be in the About page section of my channel, in the About page section of my channel, in case if you guys are interested in following those. Also, if you are new to my channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will get uploaded to whenever I upload. Also, if you are interested in subscribing to my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo, link to that will be in the About page section of my channel, so you guys can go and subscribe to my backup if you like. So anyways, if I'm missing anything, please let me know what it is in the comments below. And as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. I'm not sure whatever Stephen King film I will be reviewing, but I will review them in due time. So, yeah. I guess with that being said, I'll be catching you all in the next video. Peace out, and like always, guys, I'll see you all next time.